Hi and welcome everyone. This is a Patreon only video. Thank you for being a Patreon subscriber. Thank you for coming on over to this side for a different part of the conversation. And so today what I'm going to be talking about is the lessons learned from the trail, but not just lessons that have been learned, but kind of how to apply it to prepping and to your bugging out, what it is that you plan on doing, whatever your preparations are for when shit hits the fan, the world comes to an end, nuclear war happens, civil war happens, climate migration, whatever it may be. So the things that I've learned, between a bike and between the bike and between, just doing it on trail, is that a trail is going to be a lot easier on you. It's going to be a lot easier on your body, because you get to choose how far you go, versus being on a bike. I mean, just what it does to your legs, it's completely different than what walking does to your legs. Now, my legs are sore, but they're not sore in the same way that they were with a bike. And plus, I actually have energy, because normally after about 20 miles on a bike, that's when I start losing my energy. And then by the 40-mile mark, I'm ready to pass out. I couldn't eat enough food to get the energy back that I need. And being out on trail, I still have energy at the end of the day, so I can sit back, I can make my meal. I'm eating a little bit better than I did when I was on a bike. But each segment of this trail that I have been on has taught me an important lesson. And I kind of want to pass this information, this knowledge on to you. So the first thing that I had to learn, which was when I got on at White Springs, I learned about logistics and getting water and being able to figure out how to get in and out of cities, and get the resources that I need and then get right back out on the trail. Now, in an SHTF situation, you're still going to have to do something like that. I will go over more incognito ways to be able to maneuver within a city, but this is something that, on the homeless side, that's kind of where I learned the art of being incognito, because you walk down your alleys, you go through the back ways, you kind of do the untrafficked ways, and you kind of just you blend in and you go and you do your thing. And that's kind of how you move incognito throughout a city, especially if you're trying not to get caught or harassed by either police or other government agents. Okay, but the first lesson I learned was it was logistics. And it was, how to be able to get my water, how to be able to get my food, how to be able to resupply. Because on a bike, you're running across at least 1 or 2 cities a day. You're running across at least 3 or 4 gas stations a day. So if you need to get food, it's never a problem. You need to get water, it's never a problem. The big problem with bugging out on a bike is now you have to, you're skirting the law by jumping into a bush and going to sleep. Unlike with with bugging out on a backpack, the forest, you can sleep wherever you want. You can move as fast as slow as you want. If you need to take a rest or if you need to stay somewhere for a few days, you can do stuff like that. So there is some differences, and how you manage your logistics. So that was the first lesson I learned. The second lesson I learned, which was the second half of the trail, going from once I learned the logistics part, that was once I got to the river camp where they had the enclosed bungalows. That was kind of my second lesson. And what I learned there is not only community and being able to communicate with other travelers and kind of figure out what's going on down the road. Because the thing is if you're bugging out, if you're in SHTF, somebody's coming from the opposite direction, you want to take the moment. So like every time I cross a hiker, they will tell me what's going in my direction. I will tell them what's going on in their direction. They'll ask me questions like, hey, do you know where this is? Where's the next jump off point? Stuff like that. And I'll ask them the similar questions, because this is how hikers communicate, and it's part of the community. And it's kind of how you make sure that you keep your head above water, especially if you're new to all this like I am. But I also learned a lot about wound care, and that you can do as much wound care as you want, but there is going to be a time when you actually have to seek medical attention. Now, during SHTF, what you're probably going to want to do is figure out where to find the underground doctors, the people that have medical knowledge, access to the antibiotics, so that you can remain incognito. Okay, that's one thing that you're going to want to do when in that situation. But right now, I'm kind of learning the ropes, so when that time comes, I can actually do that, and I'm not caught off guard. It's not awkward. I kind of already have myself established. I know what the decorum is and things like that. But this time, this segment, so when I left JR's, yeah, kind of when I left Madison, but more or less when I left JR's, what I just did over the last 2 days. Hold on one second, guys. But, what I just did over the last 2 days. So everybody keeps telling me that I need to get those little electrolyte packets. And so I finally got some. I'll show you. I got them at Dollar General. And I got the black cherry because I like cherry. I like anything red. When it comes to drinks, I won't drink anything purple. So I'm weird like that. So I did get this. But what I learned is what I'm made of. At JR's, I got 4 hours sleep. I went 7 miles. I was like, okay, I'm going to rest because that's what I would normally do. Well, this morning, I only got 2 hours sleep because I was getting mauled by mosquitoes. And not only that, I had the day before just sledging through the swamp and the knee-high water and all that stuff. That was something else. It's normally if I had an option to go out, I don't want to do this, I probably would have taken it. But I needed to see what I'm made of, because this was probably the as far as a segment of the trail, I would say you would have to be expert level to be able to survive it, and you have to have certain skills, like the ability to use deductive reasoning, the ability to be aware of your surroundings, and to be able to figure out, because there were parts of this trail where I would look back, it's like, okay, so this is where I go. And you've got the trail where other hikers, you could tell that they veered off and then they found the mark and then they veered back on. Or there was this one point where it's so bad that you could barely figure out where you're going on the trail, because you're looking back, you're looking forward, you're trying to find the next trailblaze, and then you come to this tree, and basically it's like you can't see a trail. You can kind of see a trail. There's a path of least resistance, then there's a path that looks like it might be a trail, and you're like, okay, what do I do? And so I went the path of least resistance, and at first I turned around because I went maybe 100 feet, and I'm like, I don't see a trailblaze. Well, I went back and I tried to go the other direction, and I looked at it, I'm like, there's no way that you could trek through this. You could, but I don't see why they would do it. So I'm like, you know what, let me go try it. Let me walk a little bit further. And the thing is they put the trailblaze so far out that an inexperienced hiker, an inexperienced person would not have been able to make it through and would have gotten lost. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of first-time hikers either have to call emergency help, or in my situation, I had a dead phone. I had to figure this out on my own, without any map, without any technology, without anything. And this is really what showed me what I was made of. And then once I get to the campground, and, I'm thinking, okay, I could deal with this. I'm okay with mosquitoes. Well, my parents have a lot of mosquitoes at their house, but nothing compared to what I got to deal with on this trail. It's at this campsite. It was downright miserable. I was so angry that I was cussing creation out itself. Like, why the hell would you do this? And, once I kind of got up the next morning and went on my way, I kind of realized I was speaking in anger and this and that, and it gave me an opportunity, because I have no technology, I have nothing to distract me, so I'm stuck in my own thoughts, and I'm processing what it is that I'm doing. Okay, and I was sledging through swamp. There were certain areas where I almost felt like I was Indiana Jones in the movie Jumanji. It was a cross between that, because it was so treacherous and so confusing just to figure your way out. I got off trail so many times and was able to get back on trail without the technology, without relying on a map. And honestly, when SHTF happens, when it comes to end of the world, Mad Max situation, whatever you want to call it, this is something that you, sorry guys, I'm going to kill me a mosquito. I hate these damn things. I think they all should be fried, and I think that they should be wiped off the face of the earth. But anyways, yeah, that's how angry I hate mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes more than I hate anything in the world. I mean, I would rather deal with a pedophile than a mosquito. So that's how much I hate mosquitoes. But just with everything that went on and pushing myself, and then I got off trail because I tried to find my own way without a map or anything else like that. And, you know, one of the things I have to learn is I have to really learn to listen to my gut. And that's a big thing. So listening to my guts and figuring out what it is that I'm doing. And so after about, I don't know, like 4 or 5 miles, I had to turn around and come back the same way. And then I had to walk another 6 miles on the last half of the it's not a dike, it's a levee. Okay, so there's a difference. A levee is to keep the ocean out. A dike is to kind of split a body of water. So, you know, these things right here, you know, they make a huge difference and will determine your survival, your ability to be able to make it in a situation like this, should you ever have to bug out, should you ever have to migrate. And let's just say that an EMP happens and you have no technology. How do you navigate yourself? How much confidence do you have to be able to find your way? Now, it took me a lot longer than I thought, but it only took me about 6 hours to make it to this campground. And that's with the making up the difference by hitchhiking me a ride up the trail. So, I mean, still, it would have taken me 6 hours. And I think I was sludging around at about 1.5 miles, 2 miles an hour. And I mean, there's points where I'm just like, man, will this just, please, I want to get to the levee. I want to get to the levee, you know, and I just, it was trying. And instead of whining and bitching like a little bitch, I got to see, you know, how much of a man I truly was. And I really, it was a huge confidence boost as far as the trail goes. But it was also a deterrent. It's like, you know, when Hobo Thomas tells me, hey, you should probably just hitchhike up into Alabama, I'm like, you know, that doesn't sound like a half bad idea after what I just experienced. Because, I mean, there was so many damn mosquitoes. It was like Mosquito Alley. I mean, I hadn't seen very many mosquitoes out on trail. I mean, there's a few of them, but not at the level that I got to see here. So anyways, guys, this is my video for Patreon for today, and I'm going to start making more videos and start doing a little bit more dedication to it and trying to have that different conversation with you. But if you would leave me something down in the comments, what I'd like to know is what topics do you want me to cover over here? You know, think of it more on a personal level, like, you know, you have things that you want that are kind of just for you, but still for the community, because this is the opportunity. This is the venue where I get to do personally tailored information. Secondly, another thing I would like you guys to do, if at least one of you would get the Discord, come into the Discord room. I have not gotten a chance to test it out. I've got it set up. I need to kind of figure out how to be able to troubleshoot and deal with other people as the Patreon subscriptions grow, because I know that there's going to be people and they're going to want to have direct contact with me, and it's much easier for me to have contact with you through Discord when I'm out on the road than it is to do email or anything else, because it's about data usage, and you know, it's a specific messaging form just for you, me, and other subscribers to Patreon. So if you guys could help me out with getting that troubleshot so that we can make sure that it works for those that want to use it. You don't have to use it, but I would like you guys to come over to Discord and at least be in there. So if you ever need to get direct contact with me, whether it be time sensitive or not, or, you know, just to be able to make sure everything's good, because I can communicate with you guys there easier than I can through the community forum on YouTube or anything else like that, because I usually have to upload other stuff, and it takes a while, especially when I don't have data. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next Patreon video.